Tonight on the news, I don't know any news, so...
I don't know what I'm doing. This is called hair that I've been at work all day, and makeup that's been at work all day, dealing with clientele. That's a bit of a strong word for them.
That sounds like you work in a brothel, I won't lie.
I'm sat next to a, this is interesting, I'm sat right now next to, and I've no idea why it's in the front room, a camping tent toilet. So it's like a portable tent toilet, only like yay high and about yay wide, but Marge has been cleaning that, and it is clean, and I'm sat right next to it right now because she's taking it camping next week, but I have no idea why you'd keep it in the front room.
I don't know if I want to know how it works. The fact that it's a toilet that you can move around is concerning enough to me. That signifies why camping isn't an experience that I partake in. Ever.
I do enjoy a good camp, actually. I like camping.
Do you?
Well, I grew up with it, basically. Like, my grandma and granddad used to come and pick me up, and that'd be like my summer. If like I'm back from school, like every summer we'd go like on a camping holiday. Back then, we didn't have said porter camping loo, so you just used the loos that the campsite had.
When I was young, I just used a bush.
Well, that's probably Marge's. You know what Marge bought Keith the other day to take with him to Lundy? She bought him a trowel, a toilet trowel. So you can, and this is a fact, as long as you are 50 meters away from water or sea level or sea, you can dig yourself a hole and have a poo.
Amazing. Wonderful imagery of your dad on Lundy Island in the middle of a rainstorm pooing in a hole. Really give out all the information that people need over here, don't we?
We do.
Like, it's the information you didn't know that you needed. So, it's been hot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's everything for today.
Which, in a way, is nice, because we hardly ever get heat over here. But it comes at a price which we like to pay in humidity. And
it's been a lot. And hang on, I'm gonna find out what is the hottest temperature in this country. I think it might have been in London.
But it normally is, isn't it? But that's because like everything's so like crowded and close, and it's like just a big city, isn't it? So more people live there.
Last year, the hottest temperature ever recorded in the UK was in Cambridge University Botanic Garden on the 25th of July last year. 38.7 degrees Celsius.
We have botanical gardens in Bath, actually, and they're very nice, so I'd like to visit Cambridge's botanical garden.
Sounds like a nice place, to be fair.
I do like a good botanical garden.
So I think it's been going up to 34 degrees in this heat wave this year.
Yeah.
Temperatures top, 36. 36. There we go, you heard it here, BBC News. I just don't think it's any of your business, like, what the weather's doing.
Yeah, like, leave the weather alone, like it's its own thing.
Just let it be. No one asks you what you're doing. Why are we always asking the weather what it's doing?
I hear at the cafe, people who come, and I work in a cafe. No one needed to know that.
Well, the legions of fans might come there now.
Hospitality.
Everyone's got to do it, I think. I think everyone should have worked in retail, customer services and waitressing or serving in some way. I think it's a basis that everyone should go through, because it gives you an understanding of people and a humility, honestly, that cannot be matched, because there is nothing more degrading than those jobs, quite honestly. And us actors are well versed in them.
Yeah, seriously, I've known people who, you know, have done that job and have left because of the way that you might get treated. So they've decided, like, I see it, I like talking to people, I won't lie. So when I get the chance to work and talk to people, I like that, I enjoy that. I've lost my train of thought, to be honest.
I don't know, Liz, but I'm glad that we know that you like talking to people. Right, so there's people that don't understand why we complain so much that it's hot. Right, I'll tell you for why. One thing is that British people like complaining. Okay, we love to complain. If we can't complain, we don't feel right within ourselves, to be honest.
Yeah, although sometimes it's really annoying.
You know, you've got to have something to complain about in this country.
I'm complaining right now. I'm complaining about people complaining. You see, you can't get away. It's a big circle.
It's a cycle. And also, 36 degrees in this country is not the same as 36 degrees in a country that has like dry heat. Like in this country, it feels like you've been put, it feels like you're a sausage that's been put on a baking tray and then like wrapped up in tin foil and then put in a 200 degrees Celsius oven.
Yeah, I describe it as being like a mouse in a microwave, and that is from The Vicar of Dibley.
But right, well, because I've always wondered about that saying, because like, did anyone ever talk to a mouse that's been in a microwave? How did we come up with that phrase?
Carry on. It's hot.
It has been, another fact of the day, the UK temperatures passed 34 degrees Celsius for 6 days in a row for the first time since 1961. Well done, UK. That's a new record. So what have we been doing to combat this incredibly oven-like heat? Because we don't have air conditioning in our houses. It's not a thing over here because our houses aren't built for weather like that. They're designed to keep warmth in, because a lot of the time we're dealing with cold winters and mild summers. So our houses actually will trap the heat in them, increasing the feeling of
utter madness.
Yeah, insanity. So Liz, what kind of tips for the heat what have you been doing? Do you have anything? Does Marge have any like tricks other than outside toilets for getting on with the heat?
Well, if Marge were here, and I know this fact as well because I've been told it so many times, we lose heat from the top of our heads and our feet. Hence why we have things such woolly socks and woolly hats to keep the heat in. Therefore, I would say get a nice bucket of cold water, put some ice in it if you like, and if you dip your feet in that for about 10 minutes, however much you want to, then that's probably a good thing to like, because if your feet are cold and your head is cold, but you know,
your extremities, wrists, just like running your hands under a cold tap and getting cold water on your wrists. Yeah, helps.
Absolutely.
Trick your body into thinking of cooling down. Cold flannel on your head, like you were saying, your head, put it there.
Yeah, because we do that for people with fevers and stuff. And the only annoying thing about that is that if it's too hot, it will dry out pretty quickly.
So last night, another one that I found was someone somewhere said, get your fans, like a lot of us have fans now, which blows the air around the room so it creates a breeze, but to make it colder, if you get a bowl of ice and put it in front of the fan, then it'll blow the cold air into the room.
Yep.
So I took that advice, and then I also got a glass and I filled it up with, and this might have been because I was drunk last night, but you know, we all discover new things when we're drunk. It's like a time of exploration for us. I got a glass and I filled it with ice, and then I put it next to where I sleep. I sleep here, and I put it on the bedside table next to me. And I woke up at 4 a.m. and I was like boiling. So I was like, oh, I've got the cold glass. So I reached out for it and it was warm. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a drink. So I picked up the glass that had my drink of water in it, sipped it, and it was also warm. And I was like, I can't do this. Although today it has been milder here, I will have to say, up here in North Yorkshire, it's not been so bad. The thunder keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah, that's true. Well, today it was very sticky down here today, in Devon. It was very, very sticky, very clammy, and even walking inside the cafe to outside, it was basically just moving from one oven to another oven. We have visors at work, so we've still got like a air coming up and through, but it's because it's plastic. If the sun hits that, then
you're just like really hot astronauts walking around like,
yeah. And then that's why, and then we don't want to deal with rude customers after that, you know?
These customers are basically asking someone with mild heat stroke to remember how many coffees and which one of them's a dairy free and which one of them's a decaf, and one of them wants a prawn sandwich and one of them wants a chicken sandwich. It's like you're asking someone who is actually debilitated mentally to remember all of that, whilst you, the customer, are just kind of, you're doing that because you're chilling, because it is hot. So you're like, I'm going to go chill at this cafe. But the staff are not chilling, and actually they're much hotter than anyone else. So,
yep. You know, and yeah, you might be like, well, that's what the till's for. You print out the ticket and it tells you what we want. I mean, the other day, I was just such on a flow of making the coffees, because I really enjoy making coffees. And I accidentally made a cappuccino instead of a latte, and so I had to run up, and some people would be like, oh no, it's fine, I'll just have the cappuccino, don't worry about it. But then other people are like, this is humid hair today for me. Yeah. Oh, that's a stretch. There's my rib. Sorry, skin people of the world.
What are skin people?
We all have skin, and we're all people. People
who don't have skin. Like,
well, no, people maybe who don't like skin, looking at skin. You know, some people are like, oh my god, there's skin, and I'm like, if you look down, you also have skin. Whoa.
Phobes. I went out last night. When I say out, not in like a crazy way. You know, we're still unable to do that. Well, some people. So I've been to bars like a couple of times now and like sat, and I have observed some sights, and I don't know if that's the town that I live in. I imagine it's just everywhere like this. There's always gonna be people that are just gonna, they're just gonna be out there, they're just gonna do what they do. And I went yesterday evening, I went out for an anniversary celebration, just went for a drink. We had a nice dinner at home because we couldn't get in any restaurants because of this whole Eat Out to Help Out scheme. It was very, very busy everywhere. Just walked up the road, found a bar that was open, and I've been there once before, and it does seem to attract some strange characters, but this time I do not know what was in the air, Liz. But I walk in, and like I thought that they'd had like they made the bar really nice. There were like some nice lights in the window, and I thought, okay, well, we'll go in. And we all know about ambience, right? In a bar, okay? They're not bright places. They're dark and like mood lit, right?
Yeah.
It was like walking into a supermarket. The lights were just on the ceiling, like bright lights. So I was like stood there trying to figure out what was going on. And then this like little man with a small head is just like, and looks dead at me in the eyes. And I look at him like, and he's like, you look a bit timid. And I was like, and I just, you know, in that moment where you're like, I'm not talking to you, like I'm just not entertaining this. I just completely ignored it. And then me and Jason looked at each other and we were like, you heard that too? He was like, yeah, right. Did you ignore it? I was like, yeah, I ignored it. He was like, okay. And then there's a barman in there that thinks that me and Jason are from Greece. And then we sit down, and then the little man with the pea head was talking to a man, like a big man, but they looked about the same age. And the other man was like really drunk, and he was like grabbing the little man's face, and he was going on about his daughter, but how she's not his daughter, but she feels like his daughter, and how like the little pea head man had something to do with the daughter that wasn't a daughter. And he was like, I'm okay with it though. And then he would be like, but I'm really not okay with it, and you need to stop and get away from her. And the next minute he'd be like, but you're happy and that's what matters. It's like, what is happening? And then there was a woman, and the woman seemed to be romantically involved in the father that wasn't a father. But then she started thrusting against another man randomly. Like a man walked in and she just was like... Anyway, that was my experience.
I mean, all I can say is life. Just living in their own freedom.
So I think that sums up what happens to British people when it gets too hot.
I mean, we had a drunk man walk in the cafe today and hug the cake counter and then shouting, where are the loos? And then he was like, I'm gonna come back with my girlfriend later. And my boss was trying to usher him out.
Like, please don't come back, actually.
Yeah, like...
We'd rather you didn't. Yeah. What happened to this drunk man that came into the cafe? Did your boss get rid of him?
Yes, so it was a bit strange. Like, I was inside at the time and I didn't really know what was going on. And then these people who were sat outside came inside, and I was told that there was a drunk man. Now, apparently he actually wasn't on our property, he was just next to it. And he'd thrown up and then proceeded to stagger and womble, like, you know, because when you're drunk, all you're trying to do is keep yourself upright.
Yeah.
Into our cafe and starts asking us where the loos are, but not like a, well, where's the loo kind of thing, more of like a, where are the toilet, where? And my boss like goes to show him to the toilets because it was kind of like, you know what, just use the loo. Like, I'd rather you use the loo at this point than do something right here in like the front room of the cafe.
Yeah, that wouldn't be ideal.
And then he gooses it, then he comes back into the front room, not following the one-way system. And then he staggers back and hugs the cake. We have like this glass cake counter on our front, and he just kind of went, looked at it all, just like, are you that one and that one and that one? And... I don't know how old this guy was. I want to say 40s. So it wasn't even like it was one of those drunk old boys, like the nice ones that are like, hey, you're right, there he is.
Like one of those harmless drunkards who, like, they'll never get sober, but they're all right, they're harmless.
And then my boss then kind of took him again outside, and then he didn't come back in, even though he said he was going to bring his girlfriend back in, but I didn't see him again. And thanks to that guy, I then had to sanitize the cake counter.
He probably didn't have a girlfriend, or if he did, she was probably just as drunk as he was somewhere else. They probably passed out somewhere on Tarka Trail. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, on that note, let's hope that things cool down And
literally and figuratively.
yeah. And we'll see you hopefully next week. We did go quiet, last week on Brother Nay because I was down in Devon, but we were kind of just chilling really. We were having some family time, having a nice time, just taking a little break, and it was nice.
It was
nice. We did make some TikToks, so wasn't all not productive.
Yeah.
We played some Heads Up, so I'll try and share some videos of us playing Heads Up on our page because I think that was quite funny.
What we need to do next week, we need to play Heads Up. I'll have to download it back onto my phone and then just hold it in the camera.
And then I'll have to do it on here.
Yeah. Play Heads Up to each other.
That would be quite good. We could play that game where you have a post-it note.
I love that game. Many people are like, oh, why do you want to play that old-fashioned game? I'm like, post-it notes, it's not an old-fashioned game.
It's
that
a
is
game.
Is a game. And that and Monopoly, although no one will play Monopoly with me anymore.
I'm sorry, bro. I'll play Monopoly with you.
Thank you. Every Christmas, I always ask. That's the thing I want to do, and I get shot down every time. Until they've had a few drinks, and then Marge thinks she's the king, because the queen is obviously not good enough for Marge. She needs to be the king. And I have to admit, sometimes I can be quite a sore loser, but that's only because Marge is just not okay.
Marge clash with each other, I think, on things like that.
We clash a lot of the time.
You make it worse for each other because you just do this.
Yeah, we're both very competitive.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help. So if anyone wants to join me for some Monopoly, let me know.
Hit her up. Message us over on Brother Nay.
That's true, I'm always the horse. The horse one.
Well, there you go. So if you are here, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe to our weekly videos / podcasts. And thanks for watching. See you soon. I'm going to turn off this ring light now because it is giving me a headache.
Oh my god, that's the theme tune right there. It's like Chuckle Vision. Brother, brother, nay, brother, nay, brother, brother, nay, brother, nay. We're still recording. Is that intentional?
Oh.
Is that right?